I want to talk a little bit about something that in NA we have no clue of Viper, because we don't play it really. The Twitch Rivals event in North America, not a single team played her. She was played 0 times. But you correctly brought you brought it up on Twitter when I said no one played her in Twitch Rivals. You correctly said I played her. I played her in Twitch Rivals. Europe plays her, or at least I play her. So what about Viper do you see as viable currently in the meta where other teams, especially in NA, are saying, no, I'm not even going to touch Viper?
I mean, there's one thing that is not getting enough recognition, and it is that Viper can dictate how the game is going to be played. Because even if you only throw the same one way on the same spot every round, you're already doing something that makes the other team play around that all the time. And if you know how to exploit it, the other team is playing under your rules. You're not playing on their rules. And even if she's not that strong, if you know how to play and read the game because of what you're doing, you're basically making both teams play on what your moves are. And in my opinion, if you have enough experience and the ability to read the game, that alone in a competitive match, that gives you so much power. That's what I think it's the best thing about Viper.
So are you saying that because I think you can agree with me. We have not even seen the close to the ceiling of the strategical side of Valorant currently. Like,
yeah.
I feel like we're not even close to the ceiling. We're not even maybe at the floor yet. Like, teams are still learning how to crawl before we can run. So do you think that Viper in a more strategic, landscape where teams are thinking more on a, 5-man team and more of a, instead of, let's just go crazy and go one-on-one duels, that she could be, really scary, again, in a more regimented, cohesive game plan?
Yeah, I think especially now, and I think she needs a buff. She needs a buff because her ult is bad, but the rest of the abilities I think are really good. And the good thing about her is that, like you said, now the game is being played around aim duels and the same strategies all the time, executing A with the same smokes and all that stuff is getting copied, and there's no one doing new stuff. So if you break that on their game, that's what I've been doing on every tournament. If I see how they play and I try to break their game plan, they don't know what to do. They have no idea. They run crazy stuff that doesn't work anymore, and then you, by defaulting and not doing anything, you start winning because they've never been under that situation because no one plays Viper. They feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do anymore, and they start doing really dumb stuff, and you just win by default. Your teammates as well have a lot of freedom because they know what's going on, and you just keep calling and helping your team. And if you have good aim in this game, abilities matter, but if you shoot at the head, you're also insane. You don't need the most OP champion to be top fragging.
You talked a little bit about her ult and how the ult needs to be buffed. What about her ult is so terrible, and how would you fix it if you could?
Well, first of all, if you go into a site and imagine it's a 5v5 and you plant a bomb, you use the ult on site and it's damaging your teammates. So your teammates have to go out of the ult, and then if they play a Sova, they just need an arrow inside your ult and they can see. So it's a huge counter to Viper, and almost everyone plays Sova in competitive. So I don't think she needs a rework, a new ultimate or something that really changes her. Like, you can move the ultimate from a spot to another spot or something, because it makes her so static, and attacking, I feel like she's useless with her ult. Like, I almost never use the ult attacking if you watch my streams. Like, it's really occasional when I have a 1v2 maybe, but not when my teammates are alive. It's really weird. I don't know how to play her yet, like attacking in a good way.
One more meta question before we kind of go into our final section of this interview. Sage got nerfed again. Her wall, the wall radius has been halved. In North America, in recent tournaments, we've seen a few teams experiment not playing Sage. Some teams have been playing 3 duelists instead of playing a Sage, playing a much more aggressive style. For you, do you still see Sage as 100% pick? Like you have to pick Sage or you're going to lose the game? Or do you think there are compositions where you can, thrive without Sage in it?
I think there's compositions where you can thrive without Sage, but I still think she's really good. But playing 3, like I know what the game you're talking about because I saw it as well, where they played Phoenix, Jet, and Raze or something like that, and they were like going in on split, and the other team couldn't stop them. I think that's a way of playing that is really good as well. And if you have really skilled players, it can work. But it's a double-edged sword. Like it can go really well or it can go horrible. So I would do this if I was the team, okay? If I'm bad on split and I'm playing a really tactical team, I would do what they did. Because if you play in their game and you play Sage and tactical, you might lose because they are better than you in that aspect. So if you go with 3 aggressive agents and you try to outskill them and play a really fast-paced game, it might help you win a map where you are worse than them.